I'd like to see the Poms win one, but I just don't think you can. Your attack is very pedestrian. So the Aussies are probably, I reckon, 18-10, be close.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to the latest episode here at BackTen from All Out Rugby League, powered by Smart Energy Great Britain, leading the smart meter rollout across Great Britain. With a smart meter, you can tackle your energy use head on and find smarter ways to save at home. Well, another week of Test rugby has gone by, and Australia winning the second game and reclaiming the Ashes. You can notice today we are away from our usual home, so big thanks to St Helens here, the newly named Brewdog Stadium, for welcoming us for this show. Helping us dive into this second test, are two very special guests. Here on BackTen, it's the first time we've ever had a crossover with Levels Network. It's one of the leading shows across the other side of the world, and I'm delighted to say I'm joined by their hosts, Justin Horo and Willie Mason. Guys, how are you finding your time here in the UK?
No, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah, it's been, we were just talking before we got on, like we're doing a tour over here.
It's just a piss up.
There's been a lot of beers that have been drunk, but a lot of just long days.
Yep.
Like once you get to the game time stuff, which we do, we've been doing a few shows and attending the games. They're awesome. But it's been the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays that have been tough carries, and that's where we're at now. Just trying to fill some time at the start of the week with it. So we're not. If we weren't here, we'd probably be sitting at a pub somewhere. So no, it's good to be chatting to you.
just saw Willie shudder at the thought of being in a pub.
Liverpool mental joining. There's nothing else to do. No, it's been good, mate.
Well, again, guys, we're delighted to have you, and thanks very much for coming along. But before we get into the show, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content here at BackTen and across All Out Rugby League as well. Don't forget, in the comments below, we ask you to get involved each and every week. Swipe left, and that will reveal that hype button. You can get 3 hypes each and every week. Make sure you click that and help us reach further and wider audiences. But for now, let's get into the show. Well, it was a disappointing afternoon for England as they lost the second test. Willie, you mentioned through the week about the lacklustre sort of performance in game one from the English forwards. Did you see any improvement at all?
Massive improvement. You guys had a crack. It's just, probably your attack is just very pedestrian, right? It's just like block for a block for a block for a block. Like it was just out the back. And with the Australian defences, they're just too good. They moved so good from the inside and you just couldn't get around us, or you had to hit like a straight line. No one did that at all. Or give the early ball to Farnworth and all that kind of stuff. It was like, our defences are too good, so you got to try something else.
Yeah, it did seem like, Australia could have been, we could have been attacking their line and they still wouldn't have scored here today. Do you know what I mean? So, Justin, what was your thoughts on the English performance?
First of all, I love the stadium. The stadium was unbelievable, but the dimensions played a part for both teams. Yeah. Like, even though the England didn't look like they were going to score, Australia only scored 14 points as well. They were hitting the lead runners probably more often, trying to keep them honest, but it felt like, I watch a couple of players that I played with probably more closely. And Tommy Johnston played with me at Wakefield.
Yep.
It felt like he got the ball 3 or 4 times on the sideline with just nowhere to move.
Yeah.
So we were sitting, we wouldn't know what end it is, north or south, but you could see the dimensions. It was like the 50 to the 40 looked like a genuine 10 metres, and then the 10, which should have been to the 30, looked like 6.
Yeah.
And then the in-goal line looked like another 6 metres, and like watching the Super League Grand Finals over the years at Old Trafford sort of felt a little bit like that, like shortened field. Yeah. It was going to suit a physical brand of footy. And I thought Mace caught out the forwards for the Poms, and they're sort of just been missing those alphas of years past. But I like what Matty Lees did.
Yeah.
I like what Morgan Knowles did. They really went after it early on, and unfortunately weren't good enough.
Well, Willie, Morgan Knowles obviously joining the Dolphins next year. From what you've seen from him, either in the Super League or particularly in the last 2 games, how do you think he'll fare up?
Yeah, he'll go good.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
He's just a hard-working, back rower. I think the Dolphins have about 15 back rolls, all the same sort of plays. But yeah, his game over here will translate easily.
And he would have a relationship with Woofy, wouldn't he? From his time at St. Helens when he was coming through the grades.
Those two will link up again.
Yeah.
Look, Munster's try, there's a bit of controversy around that, an obstruction, a double movement. I, for one, didn't think it was either. What did you guys see in it?
Initially, I didn't even think they were going to get to the point with I thought the grounding was fine once he got past it. But I thought when you run around to someone, that's obstruction. In saying that, I think, was it Angus Crichton who went through? He didn't obstruct anyone, he didn't hit anyone, but I just thought it was a clear-cut black and white rule that if you go around...
I think James Graham was saying in the NRL he would have had to just drop down and give himself...
Yeah. That's what I was assuming. I was waiting for that, and they didn't look at it straight away. Mind you, we haven't watched it back either too. We've only seen the game from live and don't hear any commentary or what was being said. Apparently, there was a lot of communication between the ref and the video ref a lot. That's why mate, we were sitting there. I think I went down and got a pie, come back up, and the decision was still going for one of the tries. So, I would have assumed back home that once you go around, it's clear cut. You go around one of your attackers. But once they got past that point, I thought the grounding was fine.
Yeah. Well, it just seemed a 10-minute period again, didn't it? Game 1 was a 10-minute period straight after half-time. Game 2, it felt like when, Alex Walmsley drops the ball in yardage, then Tom Johnson's the pass to him was a bit sloppy, goes behind him, and then that try gets scored. I mean, look, I just felt that, flipping hats and looking at Australia, Willie, for the World Cup next year, they need to get better, right? Because they've not been great. Yeah, they've not been great, the Aussies, though, the last 2 games. They've come up with 15 errors, completing at 69%. I don't think they've been brilliant. They did that game, too, they didn't really, break England down, did they?
They haven't had to do it, though, have they, Carl? That's the thing. They've not had to be... I think if they had to find new levels, they would have done. They've done what they've needed to do, basically. I think they're in pretty much cruise control, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the forwards needed a little bit more of a crack. I think Tino and Carrigan. I think I miss Payne Haas a fair bit. Crichton always it seems pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah.
So a little bit of work to do, but just still the Aussie team.
Oh, no, without doubt. But, I mean, obviously you've got Samoa and Tonga strengthening, and I'm just thinking ahead to the World Cup. I mean, obviously there's a whole host of players that aren't on this tour that could have made the Aussie squad. I mean, Justin, what are your thoughts heading into?
Yeah, it's I've never played Test footy, but I've watched the big fella play a lot, and I've watched a lot of footy over the years. Sometimes you got to give credit, where it's due to, where the conditions, like we said early on, because Mace, I think they were kicking a penalty on Mace, and you were going, why don't we just keep attacking? Yeah. I said, it's just not going to be that sort. You could see it wasn't going to be that sort of game. It started to drizzle a little bit. There was a whole bunch of errors. You could tell the officiating was different right from the start between Grant Atkins and your guy, is it Liam
Moore? Yeah.
Liam Moore. That was noticeably different. So I thought 2 points was going to be gold early on. Both teams took penalty goals because they, you could feel it. And I've backed England every game because I thought England were going to get a game over here. I reckon there was not enough respect with playing conditions over here and the crowds. I think the big thing was, even though we loved Wembley game 1, in hindsight, seeing the atmosphere that you guys had at Everton, it should have been, game 1 should have been at Everton, because you had the Wigan fans there, you had St Helens fans there. We went and did a gig with Widnes, and all their fans were turning up. It felt like a neutral ground down at Wembley, and that's where I think you guys missed the jump.
I wouldn't have played at Wembley for that reason. I don't think Wembley's a good rugby league venue. I know that you guys over there talked about quite highly Wembley and the history, but for me it doesn't do England any favours. I would have much rather seen it at Headingley this week. Crowd wanted to be a smaller crowd, but my God, that was an opening test.
It was a cool experience though to go watch it down at Wembley.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, maybe in hindsight they should have had Wembley at the last, and kind of tried to catch Australia in hostile environments.
They didn't want to do Wembley last, because if it had got to 2-0 and we're going into a whitewash. No one would take
15,000.
and then it would hang.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Just on the England team next week, what would you guys do? Like, the Kangaroos are probably going to change things up a little bit. Do you think England need to change it up again? Do they bring in a Harry Newman? Do they go back to Mikey Lewis? What would you guys do?
Do you reckon the main players from Australia are going to play, mates, like Munster? Because we've got Mitch Moses, Ethan Strange, Dill Edwards, Blake Brayley. I reckon there's a world in which maybe the big four, the spine, they might be out for this game. Just so the other, because I know
they have to get a test. The younger kids, yeah.
Would that be the case?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the English have only got Joe Burgess and Harry Newman.
Yeah, how many guys have you got to pick from?
There's 24, isn't he? There's 24 altogether. So I think everybody's had a crack, barring two. Joe Burgess, the whole KR winger.
He'll come in for Dom Young because Dom Young's done, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I seen him limping off. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
He was limping off. I think he did his foot. Remember when they went to go pass over the top to Herbie, and Herbie was looking for him, and
he's been good.
Yeah,
Carried strong.
He was
wasn't
good. Yeah.
Carried strong.
Look, I would have stuck with Mikey Lewis. Like, I think I know he didn't play well in the first game. I would have stuck with him. I think he's that sort of player that's got X factor, and he needs to get the reps for you guys for next year for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Even though game one didn't look good, and there probably it was going to be hard to win the Ashes from this point on. I think the experience going into next year would have been good for him. I've watched Jack Wellesby. I know everyone's been telling me he's had a down year with injuries over here this year, so I haven't watched as much this year. But yeah, like I think those two guys, I would like to have seen them get a run at least for one more game. Maybe play Brimmer off the bench in like a hybrid role to begin with. But now I don't know. I don't know whether Sean Wayne will end up changing them again.
Yeah, I mean, well, the whole sort of debate for the English team heading into this with who would be the halfbacks: George Williams, Harry Smith, Mikey Lewis. So obviously, if you're putting AJ Brimson on the bench, you have to lose one of those. Does he drop his captain, which many are calling for already? I can't see that happening. And Harry Smith's kicking game, I think he's got the better kicking game out of the three. So it'll be interesting to see.
The problem with Harry, though, Willie spoke about it earlier on, every time he got hold of the ball, he's no run for it. So every time the Aussies are just sliding. It's so easy.
Yeah, he doesn't engage the line at all.
Nothing at all. He's I wouldn't say scared of contact, but he doesn't.
Most halves are.
He don't look for the contact, right? He don't look for the contact. So you know that every time the ball's, and he was so predictable.
Do you remember in the game when I said what his for me his comparison back home to Australia, Adam Reynolds? He's going to get him around the field. He's going to kick the corners. He's going to do all the right. He even kicks goals as well. But even as good as Adam Reynolds has been, he doesn't really engage the line that much, but he's got to make sure he sets up everyone else to have joy. That's what Adam Reynolds does. So he'll put Mikey Lewis or George Williams in good spots, whereas Reynolds, he's trying to get Ezra Mam in good spots, Reece Walsh in good spots. So that's sort of my comparison for Harry Smith, watching him over the last couple of years. But then off the back of that, if you don't have the X factor, then I reckon that diminishes his game, and that's where he looks a little bit pedestrian at times.
And that's where I think England's issue is. I think all three halves have qualities, but you need all those qualities to be within two players, and they're within three, and it's hard to get all three going at the same time.
So, lads, do England have a chance in this second test? Where your heads are on that?
Yeah, they had a big chance in the second one.
Yeah,
but they just couldn't execute. So the third one, playing over here, obviously the Aussie teams, you sort of relax in the third game, but still, it's going to be a hard game.
Yeah. So is that the, obviously you've been in camps before, is that the mindset for the Aussies this week? Just chilled out, relaxed, almost not who cares kind of thing, but they can go and have a bit more
relaxed,
really,
a bit more relaxed, and guys like Ethan Strange might get his debut, and Moses might be halfback, and a few changes here and there, but you're sort of playing with house money, aren't you? You already won
all the time, right?
Yeah.
How hard is
that's hard?
How hard is
it's hard to sweep.
The third team, the team that's gone 2-0 so many times, looks to be dominated in the first two games, and the other team's more desperate in game three because they don't want to get swept. The team that's won a couple, they just drop the shoulders ever so slightly. If you're off 1 or 2% in big games in Test footy or Origins, you'll get done. So that's what look. I was saying the Poms were going to win one game, so I've got to buy it now. I need to get to the last game. I need I got hammered back home from all the Aussies and Kiwis saying that it was going to be a competitive series. So I need you guys to step up for the last game. So
I can tell you that they're having fun because I went out in Liverpool after the game. We're in Albert Schloss and they're all there on a Halloween fancy dress night out, all the Aussies.
Yeah.
Marky Mark were there as a sailor. In Kangas Crichton were dressed as a pirate.
Brilliant.
They were having a good time. So I don't think.
Did he have a hook on his finger? Was that the correct one?
I think I didn't see him fully, but he walked past me. But Marky Mark looked the part.
Yeah.
Cool.
He came up with some mad plays, by the way.
He's a freak, mate. Hey, like at the start of the year, we've been talking about him and then we met him after they won. It was Albert Schloss down in London as well, so they loved him
everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They
See it?
aren't they?
That's what I'm talking.
Yeah, so we're down in London. We caught up with him, and it's the first time that's the first time I had a chat to Mark. Couldn't believe how big he was. He's a freak.
Wingers are bigger than the front rows.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's hoping that Justin Horo's right and England can at least get one game out of the 3. Just stepping briefly away from Test football, talks have been ongoing still with the NRL and the Super League about some sort of stake in the competition. Do you think that needs to happen now? Look, you both played in the Super League. You both know what it's about. You know, you've both obviously had careers out over in the NRL. Is the NRL involvement something that needs to happen in the game now?
I think so, mate. Yeah, I think so. I think it's really important that the game gets back to the glories of before probably our time, mates, the Super League era when the early 2000s and that when it was thriving. I love my time over here. I've got great mates that I'm going to catch up with Wakey on Friday before the show and before the last game. I know that people love their rugby league up here. It's just the infrastructure, the training pitches at some of the grounds outside of the Big Five. You know, St Helens is unbelievable, and you actually feel like you're at a proper stadium when you play here. When no disrespect to my former team Wakefield, and they've improved a whole bunch I've heard, which is awesome.
Yes.
And you know, sharing a toilet with the opposition at Castleford and stuff like that. That was in 2019. And that just should, like in a professional era, it just shouldn't be like that. So if there are going to be some changes and the NRL get involved and they put some money back into the game up here to make sure that the quality is of NRL quality, like when you turn up, not even just on the field, then I think that'll help the quality of the game on the pitch as well.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, Justin, Castleford hasn't changed.
It's still the same ground. Oh, no.
No, it's
Mate, it's
nothing.
stand behind an opposition player as they're going in the shit up.
Nothing changed.
Shout out to, mate. But the thing that I loved over here is like proper rivalries too. Like Cass and Wakey hated each other. So it was cool to play at that ground and just see genuine rivalry and hate. That's what we need to. We don't have that in the NRL.
Yeah.
The Spurs are serious as well. I was surprised me how much in the Aussie media the Reece Walsh abuse has like gone round. You'll know it's just a norm.
Yeah.
Just a norm over here. That's we've sort of,
you get used to it and enjoy it. I'm sure the big fella probably caught more than what I did because he was a big name player over here. But that's the part of the Super League that I love.
What's the worst spray you got, Willie? Like from the fans? What was the worst one you had?
Oh, yeah, I don't think I can repeat it. Very racist.
Bloody hell. Willie, your time, obviously, you had 2 stints at OKR. What are your memories from your time here in the Super League as well?
Both pretty loose. Like 2011, like for Horo, he played 6 games. That was fun. Played here. And then Catalans was just a blur. That was it.
It was a loose crew there.
Yeah, it was a mental crew.
Yeah.
Who was there at the time?
Fucking Todd Carney and
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
Taylor.
Yeah,
that's enough.
Dave Taylor there?
Yeah, we had Dave
Yeah.
Crane. I was there. Who else? Mate, Paulie Ayton. Paulie Ayton. I don't know
Paulie
if
Wick.
he was the Leeds boy,
yeah.
Wakey and Leeds and that as well. He
Chris
loved-
Inu,
he
Pat
loved
Richards.
Yeah, Chris Innie was single at the time too. So, I'm good mates with Mitchy Pearce.
Yep.
And he had a good stint over here. I think they won a trophy, won the Challenge Cup, or at least got to the final. And apparently they still refer to our group about what not to do. So with the legend and the era still goes on there in the worst possible way. But some good times.
How often did you train at the time?
Oh, still prop like, yeah. We were still training. We still turned up. We didn't miss training sessions, but probably didn't have the best prep the night before we go into training.
I mean, Willie, obviously, Willie Peters, assistant coach in
Yeah.
Australia, very different Hull KR from probably your time there.
Yeah.
It must be good to see that, you know, with them now completing the
Yeah, there was a heap of Hull KR fans on Saturday, and there's a bit of a love-hate relationship there, but most of them were pretty good. But yeah, Willie Peters done a great job.
No, he's done amazing.
Yeah.
Hasn't he? So, but just switching back to the sort of the takeover from the NRL, but what do you guys feel that really needs to be the biggest focus if they are going to have a stake in the Super League? Well, first of all, why do the NRL want to have a stake in the Super?
The first one, I'll just say into that quickly. I think Volandis sees how important it is when we're competing against other sports.
Yeah.
Like living over here for 4 years in France and England, understanding how big rugby union is here in the Northern Hemisphere and trying to compete, we can't afford to lose Rugby League in the North. So I think Volandis sees the overall big picture of it all. So that's, I reckon, the biggest part of trying to get in the Super League.
Yeah, for sure. Look, just finally as well, obviously you guys doing something similar to what myself and Matt and the all-out team here at BackTen, and how's that been going for you guys? It seems pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's good. We're a bit of the odd couple in a way, I suppose, me and Mace, but we've got a great relationship. We played together in 15 and 16, so before we got to Cadlands, we played at Manly together. Had mutual friends, and I think the dynamic works well. We've got good chemistry for the most part. I try to, cover everything to make sure the big fella knocks it out of the park, and he doesn't really miss, and the clips are always awesome. So we've been loving it.
Okay, guys, we'll get our thoughts of Justin Horo and Willie Mason ahead of Game 3, the predictions. Don't forget, we want to hear from you guys at home, so do write in the comments below your score prediction ahead of Test 3 at Headingley. Willie, I'll start with you. Which way does this game go, and what does it look like?
I'd like to see the Poms win one, but I just don't think you can. Your attack is very pedestrian. So the Aussies are probably, I reckon, 18-10, be close.
Justin?
I've got to go for the win. I'll stick with the Poms. I think my scoreline for Game 2 was 18-16, so we'll go that again. I think probably, because Headingley's a more traditional rugby league ground too, isn't it, compared to the soccer field? So that might open it up a little bit more. Do you know who's been... Is it Grant Atkins or Liam Moore that's the ref?
I'm not sure.
Hasn't been announced yet?
I tell you what.
What's today?
I don't know if they've announced it yet. I think they decide today, but I thought he had a bad game, mate. So many penalties.
It was always going to be, because the style that Game 1 was completely different to the way it's officiated. So there was always, when I was watching that game, even though there was parts of it that I loved from Liam Moore, where he just let a lot of shit go, to be honest, it did really set it up for Grant Atkins to fail over here, because he was going to come over and ref a completely different game.
The sin bins for a bit of a push and a shove.
Even the penalty in the first set.
Yeah. What was it?
And
And then they actually gave a penalty for the little skirmish on the floor, didn't they, between the two hookers?
Yeah, Harry Grant Linton.
And then he sin binned them, Young and...
you know what?
I was just like, why?
Yeah, I was disappointed with that because... for the most part, I don't know if you're aware with our referees over there, it's normally Ashley Klein who's more, he gets on the whistle hard and he'll send people off. I thought Grant Atkins just might let that play out because it's a test, give it an origin type feel. But yeah, I don't know. They always seem to do that when there's a big melee and it continues to go on. And it felt like it went 3 different times as well. It started and then it kicked off again and it kicked off the third time. So, I think that's going to play a part though. Depending on the style of footy, will be determined by the referee and who they pick. So that'll be interesting. It'll probably be announced tomorrow, won't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. The Reece Walsh sin bin, was it a sin bin for you guys?
I think so, yeah. Just dangerous in the air. Wasn't too much in it. It wasn't crazy bad, but back home anyway, when you're tackling a player in the air, Dom Young's going up for the ball looking at it the whole time. I don't think there was no malice in it, but it was just a professional foul. Yeah.
Willie, you mentioned at the start about the physicality that England forward pack brought to the game. Obviously, it was a decider. They're going to need to replicate that again, aren't they?
Yeah, your forwards are up for it, for sure. It's just always the quality of our backs that get you. Even when I was playing against the Poms, you've got fucking real hard men, in the middle. And it's usually our halves or, wingers that score the tries, not the forwards. We always just sort of score on the edge. But
You mentioned those hard men, Willie. Come on, give us a bit of an insight. Who were the hard men that you
Moz.
enjoy playing against, if you want to call it?
I didn't like playing against Moz. I didn't like playing against him. He was one of those blokes where you're like, where is he? Fielden was tough. Peacock was tough. Sammy Burgess is tough. Schofield, all those blokes, they're all hard men. Like, there was not one time that we dominated their forward pack, ever. It'd be like a Darren Lockyer or some shit, like Andrew Johns, like doing something like ridiculous. Like, but in the forwards, they would always handle us.
Is there anyone that can emerge for you guys that's over here? Do you think it could be Morgan Knowles going to the NRL and getting the experience like Sam and Gemma and all those sorts of players? And then it's more about having that confidence playing in the NRL and bringing it back to the English team.
I think one guy we haven't mentioned who I thought had a real crack, Morgan Smithies. He was very good as well. So, but no, I think Morgan Knowles is probably, he is the next cab off the rank in terms of going out there. I actually think, defensively, how he puts himself about, he'll go well out there. I think.
Mate, to be fair too, there's going to be a lot of chat around the NRL, around Ali Katoa. I don't know if you've seen the Tonga and how he was knocked out. Mate, Morgan Knowles, I'm telling you, first tackle of the game at Wembley got knocked out.
Yeah.
See it?
Yeah.
Have
He
you
was
seen it?
rattled, yeah.
Mate, and I said to Mace, I said, fuck, that's the best forward. He's gone. And he stumbled and he got back on. And I think Liam Moore had the blinkers on. He didn't want to see it. And all the players just pretended it didn't happen. And then he ended up getting it right. And look, there is a duty of care now in the game. But fuck, he's a tough bugger. Yeah. He's a tough bugger. And he only gave it, like, if you don't know rugby league, then he might have like tricked people. But I've got a big rap on him. So if he can come over to Australia with Morgan Smithies, we'll chat to Sammy. Sammy reckons Matty Nicholson should have been picked.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah,
he was another player that should have been picked. He had a great season, even though he got injured. And I thought Callum Watkins went well.
Yes, he did.
Because I haven't watched.
He found a bit of space. And
I haven't watched much of Leeds over the last couple of years, but everyone, because we thought he's been playing centres.
Yeah.
And everyone's been saying he's had a breakout going to the back row for Leeds recently. So I thought he was really solid as well.
The guy we've probably got who isn't in the squad because he's not had his best year, but he's 21. He's junior in December.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
He just didn't have a good year, did he?
He just seemed to fall away, a bit out of form towards the back end, and he had such a massive rap. And as a young kid, it's difficult to deal with that. He's a massive athlete, Willie. Like, he's huge. He's but for whatever reason, he was overlooked, which I felt that, particularly on the edge, you need a big body there, don't you? You know what you're saying? Like, if they could find him on a short ball rather than going out the back.
Yeah. That's why he went with Kai Pierce-Paul over him, really, didn't he? Over Junior.
Yeah, he did.
But the Junior will be
okay. Because he was on the bench for Wigan in the grand final against Hull. So he dropped all the way out of the starting side for Wigan, hadn't he?
I think what he found with him, it was his first full season. Like, last year was his breakout. But he didn't come into the team till halfway through. Not a lot of pressure this year.
Yeah. People are marking him.
Marking him. He's playing a full season. I think he probably felt the effects of that, but he'll be the one more. He's going to be our freakish forward in the future.
Well, you mentioned about a duty of care, Willie. It would be stupid of us not to have you on and talk about when there perhaps wasn't the time of duty of care and that famous fight, and you put yourself about not only on Fielden but Sean Long there as well.
Yeah, I think Longy was the worst one.
He was. Yeah.
I didn't realise how bad that was.
It was shocking.
I was like, hell, how did I get 12 weeks?
What are your memories from that night then? I mean, I remember watching it, but was it in the air straight away that something was going to bomb?
Yeah, before the game.
Yeah. What did you already know you were going to go and put one on them?
Yeah.
Was there any big chat in the lead up, like in the were you going at each other hard?
No, not papers, just before the game.
Yeah.
Like,
and all during the week.
In the tunnel and stuff? Or?
Yeah, so let's get stuck into it.
Were there any?
Didn't mean Longy. I mean, Fielden and all those,
Were there any verbals between you before the game, though? Was there anything, or did it just...
No. Just two fiery freaks going at it.
Jammer did a good podcast with him where he got them both on. That was breaking bread after all the time.
That was good.
Felt like there was a lot of animosity there for a little bit because they hadn't connected.
Yeah.
No, but anyhow, so Matt, finish up with your prediction then. The guys are going for Australia 18-10. Justin, remind us again what you said.
England 18-16.
18-16, Matt.
Yeah, I'm with Willie. I just don't think England have enough points. I think Australia's standards might dip a little bit because they've probably enjoyed themselves this week, but they'll still have a bit too much. I'm probably same as Willie, 18-10 Australia.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go 20 points to 12 to Australia. As much as I'd love to see England win, and I hope they do, but you know,
Every pod we've been chatting to, no one has been backing your team at all.
that's the mindset
Yeah,
we have over here.
yeah.
I think we still have Australia on a pedestal, and from what we've seen, rightly so at the moment.
Yeah.
But look, that's it. That's the full-time Hooter gone here this week of this episode of BackTen from All Out Rugby League, powered by Smart Energy GB. The team helping households across Great Britain take control of their energy use with smart meters, and a smart meter lets you see how much energy you're using so you can save when it matters most. Until next time, thanks to Willie, Justin and Matt, of course. Look after yourselves and take care. Bye-bye for now.